make sure the sound is connection challenges. Yeah, this computer is slow anyway. It has connection issues pretty much. When the other sister get Precious, she has an iMac, so we don't have any issues. It's not the same.
What type of laptop is
Mhm.
it?
Okay, so we're back. All right, well, we here. It seems to be jumping on and off of live, so, and there may be issues with the audio. So just leave in a comment and we'll see about making those adjustments as we proceed. And with that, let us proceed. We don't need these on. So, welcome to Soulful Sundays. Here we are again. A day of discussion, meditation, um, reflecting, whatever comes to mind as we hold space for just sharing, discussing our own journey and how we're navigating that process. And with that, we began Karate Usual with the drum call, drum circle, drumming, invoking of the ancestors. As we begin. Feel free to join in. officially welcome once again to Soulful Sundays. And as we maintain the awareness of portable, we are privileged to simply give thanks for this moment of time and place and space to come together as one and one to experience one. Giving thanks to all forms of our higher self for this experience, source energy, Mother, Father, God, Pop, True, the Orisha, the Ether, ascended masters, angels, archangels, deities, and spirit guides, as well as our ancestors. We take the time now to do a special invocation to our ancestors. We give thanks for those who have walked this earth before us in human form, paving the way, as we say, those shoulders which we stand on, doing the work. So in your own space, you call out those names before the libation, water to the earth, symbolizing the unification of the spirit world and the physical world, heaven and earth. And we give thanks for all those who go before us.
Lord,
Ache,
Grandma Bree,
Ache, Lord Harry,
Uncle Roland,
Ache,
Mama Rose,
Ache,
Mama Charlene,
Ache, Birth and Temple, Now Temple, Ache,
Uncle Jim,
Ache, Ache, Ache,
my ancestors, cousins, family, anybody that's gone before me, connected to me, that's connected to me, that's connected to the path that we're following, that we're leading, that we're
Ache, Ache, Ache. Is that it?
Huh?
Oh, what was that?
That was the video I recorded. Is that okay?
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
I put it on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping to get it framed, but had it sound, it's like that sound quality. So, I have a new device here. And for those who usually tune in or watch and check us out, you may realize that there's only one of us here today as far as sharing. Since the precious, not the precious, woman out here is engaged in an activity that, took her away from this today. So we are holding space. Yes, and we are in this series of the 7 Hermetic Principles, or the Principles of the Universe. And we began, this is our third discussion about this. We started with mentalism and the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence. And just as a recap, we began with mentalism. It was all a dream. This intro, one of the Biggie songs, Biggie Small song, Stevie World magazine. But that keeps coming to mind a lot. First of all, I was a fan of Biggie, and that rap is there. And so it was all a dream. My person is making reference to the mentality or the law of mentalism as it pertains to this reality. And specifically, growing up, that was one of the things that my person was aware of. It had experiences where it felt as though this experience that we're having, what we call real life, was a dream. So every now and again, have had experiences in a dream, would realize that, oh, this is a dream, and it haven't been able to yet to really, say, milk that for all that it's worth. Because a lot of times when that happens, my person just coming back to this side. However, just using that context to share that feeling is reflective of that feeling my person has as a youth of this, and they're saying that this is a dream, this is a dream, this is a dream. And it's one of those things where it recognizes at this point that it is a spiritual gift, and we're looking to, some say we'll get back to it, or in other words, to release, any, all those things that are blocking my person from really feeling and exploring that feeling once again, that this is a dream, to navigate that. So I just want to give a little insight as my person reflected over the mentalism piece and how it's using that. Really to just be still enough to Again, with the imagination, imagine that this is just a dream. And the more, this is a person thought this up, the more that it imagines that this is a dream, then the more that vibration that will come, that oh, it is a dream, and begin to realize that and begin to operate as such as a dream.
My son gave meditation, gave me something about that this morning, about the dreams, and about the blocks, which you mentioned blocks, but also about the childlike innocence of the imagination. Because, you know, a lot of times you'll tell a child, oh, you're not hurt, oh, you're okay. And because you tell them that, they'll believe that. And they'll say, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay. So it's kind of like, because they believe it, and it's those things that you believe in, whether it's a dream or in real life, as a child, it builds up to building blocks that you eventually learn lessons from. It so it's not a less or more. It's just you're building to your better understanding, better use of those memories. Also, those memories, as we remember, we have access to, like, remember if I were trying to tap into something, a ancestor's gifts, you know, how can I cornrow better? How can I be and embody that? I am remembering myself to the all, to the extended memory, to the external memory of me, but that I can reach out and connect to as I remember. Like I don't have to remember everything at all times, but I can learn to tap into those that have those other things that they're holding space for, because I can't remember everything. Even though I would like to be able to remember, I'm going to say I can remember when I am connecting to the all. So I am able to tap into the energy that these other people, they find it attractive to remember those things, to hold space for those things. And so I don't have to hold space for it, because I can connect to them who's holding space for it and remember that way. So I'm glad I was able to share. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Thanks for sharing. Because what just came to my personal mind was the Akashic Records, and which is the theory that there's this universal library of all things that ever happened, ever will happen, and this the mind of the all. But at the same time, the Akashic Records also manifest in those who have done the work, ancestors, those who have gotten the knowledge, studied, or did the work. So they hold who have mastered it. They hold the information. So one person got the person not just, oh, let's go to the Akashic Records and do the downloads. You know, be a challenge in and of itself. It may be, just as easy or easier to just tap.
So I don't have to be all knowing all the time. I can be omniscient. I can be omnipresent. When I choose to be those things, I can feel the all, be the all, but there are times when I have to get to the micro spot, to the specifics of a specialty. So, and I feel as though when we remember ourselves, or when we tap into linking up with, we connect with that energy source that, from that direction. Like there's so much, a plethora. We walk through a plasma of waves of frequency, and we don't tune into all those things. And again, I'm sticking on getting to the all. So when we start using our hairs as the antenna to actually sense some of that plasma, the hairs on our arms stick up, or the back of your neck, or goosebumps, or something itches on your head. Those are all transmissions of data that you're receiving, whether you're processing it or not, as far as including that data in your expression of your experience. So, but to me, what I'm feeling, what I'm getting, what I'm sensing is that in order to tap into the all, or not in order, but there are many ways for us to expand our experience. into tapping into, tuning into, getting some of this external exposure, being able to define what it is or respond to it. It's like sometimes there's some natural things that happen. Like you duck and nobody ever told you to duck. Like you sense something about to happen and you're like, dang, if I hadn't ducked, so like you ahead of yourself in your deductive thinking, like something out there gave you some indication of the velocity, the speed, and the timing, and mathematically sacred geometry happens. You actually, at the right angle, at the right speed, duck.
Right.
So, but anyway, so mentalism is all mine.
Right.
So I'm glad you helped me to apply some of what I just downloaded this morning, some fresh manna,
Right.
some food for thought.
That's all about weaving the connection. Very fast these days, very fast. The church of two worlds came to mind as your personal speaking. As we used to attend that church at some Metaphysical Church in Georgetown. Michael Gallion, the guy who was the chairman at the time, who would hit chief. Right. And that was one of the things that was, because they used to do reading, or maybe it was St. Martin Davis, because this person used to call them saints a lot. And it was one of those things where the person said specifics. Like if something is lost, he would just call on St. Anthony. So you have to find these things. And the same will be true also, just not of the deities, it can call upon like Offset or Heatheroo. He doesn't call it go, it's one thing to get it from y'all, another thing to get it from the specifics of those who have mastered it. Right?
So what's the third principle?
The third one is vibration. Yeah. But before we go there, I just want to ask Sister Jazz, is there any thoughts on mentalism that person is going to add, or experiences or perspective?
At the moment, no.
That's cool.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you going to correspondence next?
Yes.
Because I need clarity on it.
Yeah, so last strong we spoke about correspondence there. One of the simplest explanations or correlations of correspondence that my person have is two. One is the law of attraction and the other is karma. But the law of attraction, even watch that video documentary, it's been around for quite some time now. It's called the law of attraction. Quite a few people in it speaking about we attract things based on our vibration.
The secret.
The secrets, that's what it is. Yeah, the secret. Yes, it's been around a while. It's no secret no more. And also a sister by the name of Esther Hicks, who used to channel Abraham. Abraham, yeah. Abraham Hicks. And so her person speak about it in the sense of having your vibration in alignment, in a match. Going with in the vortex. Allowing your vibration to match those things you want. The secret of law of attraction. And again, correspondence suggests as above, so below, and so within, so without. And so one of the challenges that we may face on this journey from our humanity to our divinity is that maybe a cognitive dissonance. We're not connecting that whatever experience that we're having is a direct relation to the vibration that we have on the inside. Whatever vibration, whatever's happening on the inside, we attract that thing. And karma is one of those words, again, it's on a similar page, whereas a lot of times on this journey, we may look at karma as something that may be unpleasant or so-called bad. Or something bad happened, must have some bad karma. But there's also so-called good karma. And again, karma, in a sense, is that coming back to you, what you put out already. And both of those from a larger perspective, my brother says, as gods or devils, as divine beings, from the perspective of, we like to say God a lot, but we also like to add both of them because get the law of duality at some point. But the way this law works is source energy. With that, with source energy, as light, as creation comes from source, light comes from darkness. Creation is light. In order for a source to experience itself, it created a vehicle so that it can interact with creation, which is we are the vehicle in which to interact with its own creation. Everything in creation is a part of source. So how to interact with everything that we created, this is to be able to interact with that. And so what that does is, whatever we put out there, we're going to experience it because we're here to experience our own self. So again, the law of attraction and karma is how my person looks at this law of correspondence that says, as above, so below, so within, so without. And again, from the perspective of, on this level, all of our experiences is based upon what's happening on the inside. The people that we meet, the relationships, any entanglements, whether they're pleasurable or unpleasant. They're pleasurable, they're indicating an alignment within us. Somewhere in us, there's some pleasure, there's some goodness going on that's in alignment with how you're thinking about it. But if it's an unpleasant experience, you're going to indicate that there's a blockage or a challenge or something that's unresolved in our own being. And the as above, so below piece, because there may not always be a direct correlation, say with an experience, you get somebody road rage or something, something, whatever it may be, like, oh, where did that come from? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's hard to see a direct correlation from what's inside of us, but yet as above, so below indicates that it could be a metaphysical representation. And so with this insight, this is why it caused my person to really do a lot more reflecting, because it's beyond the surface. To look beyond the surface, it says, okay, what's the essence of this experience? And that's allowed my person the opportunity to grow or to continue doing more of, because it was pleasurable. We like this. I can keep more of this. So what are we doing? Or it's not good. What are we doing to call this to ourselves? So we're looking at what can we do to bring that balance in within ourselves. So that's my person's take on law of correspondence.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
Because just as you were speaking, it came to me that if we're going in order, if mentalism, if mind is all, basically, I'm thinking that the seeds that we're planting, the thoughts that we're thinking, the things that are manifested, the intention, whatever we intend to it in the inside, it becomes, it will manifest from the darkness of the internal black before the thought. When the thought is impregnated into what we are is a very fertile vessel. We house that potential to really on an atomic level. All the cells and things that we are, that makes us, millions and trillions of energy bursts are going on. And as we are utilizing some of that energy and placing it into fertilizing some of those seeds that we are planting in the expansive potential of what could be our remembrances, bringing energy never dies, right? So we're just calling more energy to tend to those things that we decide to focus any attention, that most valuable real estate that we have that cloud capacity to connect and allow its fruition, its fruit to grow. So I feel that the mental space is allowed, then we're we're manifesting from the energy of it becoming written. It is written, it is thought, thoughts and things. What we are focusing on that energy, and it becomes a part of the essence of who we are and who we manifest, how we would show up. all of that comes with us. We have baggage, whether we want it or not. And it's,
Right.
but that storage doesn't have to be on our shoulders. It can be in the clouds. We don't have to let it weigh us down. It can lift us up. We can actually be elevated. And I actually, last night I did an episode of my Heart Happy Hour, and I came to the place where I discovered how I feel the upper room comes about, or because it says in the upper room. It's not just the brain. It's actually an energetic level at which to go beyond the physical. In some of my dreams, which I have had dreams where I have brought things back from the dream, actually a token of actual physical. In this case, it was gold. Tri-colored gold necklace with a charm on it. That was from Yogananda Paramahansa in a dream of metal. But anyway, so the energy that we're taking back and forth with us, it's up to us. And me, in my getting lost just a minute ago, I digressed into something that telling you about the Heart Happy Hours. Let's see if I can go back and connect to where I came off at the exit. Let me get back on the highway that I was trying to speak in reference to how, we are, the upper room is an elevated way of thinking, but it has a specific energy level to it as well. So on the physical level, we have these houses. But in some of my dreams, spiritually, I go above the houses. I actually live, there is like 2 rooms above the house. And I'm aware of the people in the house, but I occupy the upper room, physical level. But I'm in a spiritual, but I actually have a family of people that are a world of people in my dream, people that I knew of as a child when I was an infant that I dreamt about. And over the years, they have grown and somewhat because I don't know what dream time is like, because you go to dream for like a minute and it'd be like a year in your dream. So I don't know how long these dream periods are that I have actually, manifested, meaning that, okay, I may be this amount of physical years, but I've seen people go from looking like one way, and I know that's the same spirit, but it's another physical, meaning whatever my eyes interpret or whatever data is being interpreted about them knows that it's the same essence of that same energy, but it is not the same physical attributes that I would have, recognized them by before. So in my dreams, these worlds that are being created that are like sometimes, as I have mentioned in some other occasions when I was here, sometimes, you recognize that you're in a dream. Let me even go back to the animated show, what is it called? Waking Life?
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes into the quantum physics of the dream world and how the energy and so on. I don't know how it all related is. That's one of those that it's very entertaining. I got some nuggets out of it, but you got to rewatch it to give me nuggets at this mindset, at this new learned level, to hear what's still there to be learned from. But one thing in particular, when you're dreaming, to tell if you're dreaming. How did they say that you could tell?
Flip the light switch on and off.
Whoa, I gotta try
In your dream. Because, yeah. And so, how people say, pinch me, I must be dreaming. Or, what is it? What is another one they say? Not smack me or kick me, because that's all kind of the same thing. But pinch me, is a way that, because as I was remembering that part that I just said about pinching you if you're dreaming, I was pinching myself, and I had to pinch myself like 6 times before I could actually feel that I was pinching myself. So you can pinch yourself, or be able to bring yourself back to where you're like in the, you recognize that there is a median and you cross that median strip.
You're out there.
Yeah. So, that's one way. That's just last night that I, that was me trying to recognize what the spirit has given me, because, that's why I try to do my Heart Happy Hour episodes while I'm driving, because my autonomic, I can drive like a bug and be very responsive, but I'm able to move the physical out of the way to allow the spirit to speak and not be off, too off balance, you know? So, anyway, thank you.
That assisting in all correspondence. Yeah, assisting in all correspondence.
Yes. My key point that I picked up was move the physical off the table. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Well, that's what meditation is. You're trying to quiet the mind. But see, that's the thing. Not everybody can get to the point where they have to, where they can really quiet everything. You know, the physical has these automatic responses that we don't even have to think about for them to happen. A lot of times when you're in the bathroom, you know, that's another time to zone out. I hate to say it, but let your body do what it's doing and you zone out too. I meditate because the sun comes over there. That's kind of personal. That's to get the physical out of the way. You know, walking on the beach, you know, exercising, you know, meditation music. I was listening to the mirthful, beautiful meditation music. So it had a certain megahertz, the Sologio, or however you say it, frequency. But yeah, those are things I do with, you know, aside from the driving. I find the driving part entertaining.
So, all correspondence.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's
Some
all
of that
correspondence,
was,
right?
and the third one is again?
Vibration, that's what we have.
Vibration, which is all up in there.
Yes, should have had this pulled up. Let me just check out some of the officialness of the Kandaya, what it says about. So here's a little excerpt from the Kandalian. Let's see here.
The 7 initiates.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 initiates. There's 3 initiates.
Yeah, 3
3
initials.
initiates and 7 principles.
Okay.
Mix the 2, that's a hybrid.
So nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has opposites. Like, that's you know, all. We want,
Oh, that's all of them.
right,
Okay.
all vibration. The second universal law is maybe here, right here. On the side. Natural law. Okay, the second universal law, the law of vibration, consists that everything, atom, object, and living thing is in constant motion, vibrating at a specific frequency. Really much on that.
Can I say 2?
Go right ahead.
One thing is, okay, last night I accidentally filmed myself in slow motion. And when I listened to it, it sounded like what a whale sounds like underwater. And I was like, wow, are we just listening to it at the wrong frequency? Are we just listening to it at the wrong, you know, can we turn up this and speed it up and it becomes a language, you know? And so vibration frequency, that slow motion, a sloth moves at a slow pace like that, you know, but I'm sure he's very deliberate as he moves, like everything's very because when you're in music and you're editing your tracks, when you enlarge it or basically slow it down, you're able to be more precise with your cuts. And I don't know how accurate it's to, but in music and when you're speaking things, so then I start to sound like some other animal or set for something. They have sounds. You know. They could very well language, but we just have not adjusted the dial to the frequency to be able to receive the signal and interpret it as something that we recognize at the decibel speed, frequency or whatever.
Okay, had a little bit of read. Let's see, Mrs. had a little more insight from a technical perspective. The law of vibration states that everything in the universe is in a state of vibration, including thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. The frequency of these vibrations determines the reality we experience and attracts corresponding experiences and circumstances into our lives. The law of vibration states that we can attract anything we want by resonating at the same vibrational frequency of our desires. Everything has a vibrational frequency measured in hertz. Every object, thought, emotion, job, house, friend, movie, restaurant, everything has a vibration that it emits and receives. So, there's a formality on the law of vibration. Personal tech experiences.
I guess I can elaborate.
Yeah.
I don't know how this corresponds, but when you say nothing ever rests, like the last couple of nights, I've been waking up at the same time, in the middle of the night and in the morning. And something about me feels so tired, but there's also so much energy. I'm like, I just want to sleep, but it's like I can't sleep. I'm like, oh. And it's like it's been happening for the past week. I'm like, what's going on? I feel I have so much energy, but I feel like I need to rest. And before you guys came, I'm like, I need to rest, but that thought came to mind, nothing ever rests. So it's like the way that I'm looking at it. I guess it's a polarity. Hopefully that registers.
Yeah, because they all the laws overlap, they intertwine, they cross up this and entangle with all the laws. Yeah. As the person was speaking, the law of rhythm also came about, which would be metro, which is the ebb and flow.
You said it again?
The law of rhythm, and this came to mind as far as everything vibrates, but there's also an ebb and flow to get to that, the law of rhythm. So even the rest in peace, resting and not resting, even though when you're moving, you're always moving, but there's a time you move more, there's a time you can rest. So, again, what does that look like in practical real time? Always moving, but sometimes we more, sometimes we less, and how we use this information to maintain that spaces of being in balance with our own rhythm, so that if our rhythm change, it's because, okay, this is what we're doing now, and it's not a detrimental effect, it's for because what we need to do right now. So we do something different, kind of different at this time, we rest at this time. You know, it could be instructions from your higher self saying, oh, this is our season for this now, whether it be a day or strong or, you know, however long it be, so it's an adjustment for the benefit of what's happening. You know?
I have a relation to that because when I'm in my bed, like when I get into the bed, I'm usually so thankful for this comfortable place, so grateful for the opportunity to rest, to settle down, to rest. And so when it's time to awaken, I have to go into my mind, so it's mental. I start in my mind, and I'm with what motivates me, what is getting me, you know, is there something that needs to be done? Is there something that I need to begin to tend to? Or even not, it just sometimes the energy is so built up in me that because I have now stirred my eyes and my detectors and sensors are now picking up things. Now I'm like, okay, I cannot continue to be here in the settle down mode. I got to get up and now move around some of this energy so that I can begin to direct it in the right direction for my day. So I can't sleep because now I've started the wheels turning. I've started the energy moving, even though I'm still. You know, it's in my mental mindset, like sometimes if I got something so tasty in the refrigerator to eat, at a certain time when I stir up, that comes to my mind like, oh yeah, you're gonna have a wonderful smoothie this morning. You got the delicious fruit that's on this last day before blah blah blah. And my mouth is watering thinking about it. And that's the mentals, so these seeds that I planted, I'm now, the correspondence is now this physical vessel is going to respond to the core that I just planted for in my mental, all this mental. So I'm saying this out loud to you like a matter of fact because I'm talking to myself like this.
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying is I'm realizing this like, oh, they go in an order.
Yeah.
So now when rhythm makes sense, that, the vibration has to come first, so before you actually can have a pattern to follow, pick up on, or, as you recognize it, it becomes, as you mentalize it, it now takes on some impression, some persona, some beingness.
Mhm.
As I be business, as I go about my be business.
Yeah, I say.
What it is, what it do,
is.
what's up?
What's up? Yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, we'll come to my personal law, but my second line is before. Because we've heard, I wasn't heard, life and death is in the power of the tongue. You speak life, speak death. You heal or kill the words. Again, we have the potential to. We have the potential to. It doesn't always happen but we do have the potential. And what makes that potential more of a reality than not a reality? My person suggests is the emotion behind the words, the intention, how much, because emotion is vibration, everything is vibration. So words are vibration. And if you add emotion, which is more vibration to the word, it amps the vibration. And the more amped it is, more amplitude, the more amped it is,
More heavy it is, the more weight it has.
the more weight it has, the more it has potential to manifest because it's so
And
heavy.
it trapped
to materialize.
Right, to materialize.
Become a matter.
Right. Which is why, with this law of attraction piece and the vision board, the person of love does, that's her thing, one of the things is the vision boards. The law of attraction also states that act like you have it already. Say act like you have it. Act like you're going to be a millionaire. Act like you're a millionaire.
Oh yeah, love plus art equals wellness. That's where you'll find vision board and dream board classes. Precious mother love. What love?
There it is. And so again, with that emotion behind it, that joy, my person becomes with the deity Keteru, which resonates with that sacral chakra, the second chakra, which with creation, lust, desires. When we love, when we go out that lust, that's enemy, that passionate lust. That's one of the most powerful desires we have. Whether it be in the world, maybe like money, sex, drugs, party, this type of things.
It's in the spectrum of love, though.
Right.
It's like an exaggerated or bastardized love.
Yeah.
Like the other end of the spectrum is too much love for it. Kind of like stalky love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So nonetheless, something more. That's heavy emotion, which tend to add to the manifestation of the vibration. Specifically when we speak things, words, and life and death and power of tongue. Be careful, and that's another love correlated with. Because this again is that correspondence. So the more that we speak, and our vibration match that as we believe what we're speaking.
Vocalize it through the vortex,
Uh-huh.
the chords, it's a vibration or a frequency that's creating that orb. So they say that it's caplets of energy that we're bursting out through the vortex of the vocal cords, through the sound and the vibration, which is, like I say, causing spells because of the energy.
They teach us spelling in school. They don't teach us how to correctly, metaphysically spell. They teach us how to spell these words without putting it to them. When you spell these words, if you add the emotion to them, you can't spell because they have the potential to manifest. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So from the, I guess it's called the Kabbalah.
The Kabbalion. Kabbalion.
So it basically says that the lips of wisdom are closed except to the use of wisdom. So when you said spelling, teaching us how to spell, if you're in a state of understanding what spelling is, your lips are closed because you understand how strong and powerful you are.
Speak. Ear can speak. Spell. Speak. I don't know what the L, but I know L is at the end of the God's names. So if you expectorate it or spew it or splash it or expel it,
Yeah.
You said L, is at the end of God.
And see, that's in the middle of all those words. So what else are we looking at? H, E, double two, the H of the L, the hat, the heat. I don't know, I've just been breaking words down lately. Because if each letter has a certain frequency or vibration or energy relation, where we putting these Lego blocks together, that's the spell.
That's the DNA.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I am hearing a lot of, and it's resonating with me, that you can change on a DNA level.
Yeah.
From a variety of ways, but I believe maybe even, there were people that were taking, courses of medications that were supposed to, but they actually can introduce things into the vessel that change, like some people, certain medications they take, it changes the shape of their face, or it changes the density of their bone, or it changes them so those molecular or whatever levels are being affected. In these cases, side effects, all the things that go around. It says all these things, but the desired effect is what you get, is what you're looking for, a cure or something else. And that's a whole other slippery slope. So, it's all mine. If you're thinking healthy thoughts, if you're thinking wellness, if you're thinking happy, if you're thinking love, those are the things that come to you. And that's how I resonate, because those are the first words that come to my thoughts. I want to share wellness. I want to share love. I want to share, happiness. I want to share my mindset, which it isn't always, I'm not perfect, but, I'm changing trying on a DNA level to change my vibe, to change my thoughts, so that I can correspond, so I can correlate, so I can cooperate, so I can become the things that I desire, that I put on these vision boards, that I decide, that wake me up out my bed, that I decide to get me up out my comfort zone, my place of peace, my place of, all I'm saying is here. Life is what you make it, and I'm glad for being able to know how to break it down for myself, because I do feel like I'm a detailed person. And once those details start falling into place, if the picture starts making sense more and more, to apply all the rest of the other things that I've learned, that will fall into place. Jigsaw puzzle that it is.
Connecting the dots. So one of my person has been recently and even more recently, being more mindful as it speaks of certain resonance. A person can actually feel his own body vibrate sometimes when it has its resonance. It come from this place. You realize, oh, we should be here as much as possible, speak in this place. It feels good, literally feels good. And even more recently, we have added tapping at times. But the theory is that this vibration of what I get going into the physical body, adding the tapping, the thoughts that my person is engaged with, we're sending vibration to the physical body. So this quake, this body quake, the information is penetrating the cells and eventually into the DNA. A person sees it as a reverse osmosis. That light comes from dark. What we're doing is sending the light back to the dark. The light is in the sound, the thoughts. So we're sending it back into source of self through vibrating. It says, open up, here we come. That's an intention. This is another form of gateway. Say we're going to send this into the DNA, so the DNA can bring it back out. Well, my person doesn't have to think about it. It's something that's automatic. There's another way to say it's programming the self through vibration. Same those things how we wish to be, how we wish to manifest. And add the physical vibration of tapping on it so it goes deeper to the essence of the cell and the DNA. So on any given day, when it knows when the conditions are right, it manifests. And I always say, oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. There it is. Whoop, there it is. So this is a theory my person is setting with that's been even more recent. So this conversation about the law of vibration and sharing it out loud is helping to drive it even more so. You said it now, so we gotta keep doing it. Yeah.
Sounds to me like the Big Bang Theory sort of thing going on. Like you're creating a Big Bang. You're all those knots on you is creating sparks of light or sparks of light. Oh yeah, life too, but light that's generating and creating and coming to a place where you're saying get ready. And I was what came to my mind was Bang Zoom. So that's how I came to the Big Bang part because it's like bang, bang, bang on your chest. And zoom.
Zoom.
But that also requires a certain breathing. To me, that also kind of reminds me of when you have, when you hyperventilate, you're usually overexcited. You're having that excited breath. But when you do that breath intentionally, that's the gateway. That's how you can get to that, you aerate yourself. And that's why you start to see the pixels. Because you're no longer tuned into this realm, you're now in the zone. You're in the gateway of potential creation. What you're going to create. You're going to stay on this side, you're going to stay on that side. You stay on that's that line, but this is something that you have to learn. And again, that's the gateway. We have this gateway meditation that was given to me in Sun Meditations.
She was there.
Oh, at the last one?
At the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we didn't finish the whole process. We didn't share it like the Big Bang Zoom because there was so much energy, emotion that night. It was beautiful. Why, look, I was going to say, why fuck up? But why mess up? Why stump people's groove when they're in fantasy land? They're in la la land. They're in love land. They were in such a beautiful gateway already. I think, why go back to the beginning when you're already at the end result, which is the goal is to be God's and enjoy that God isness energy. I am, what I am is enjoying myself in whatever loving, beautiful ways. We had so much beautiful stuff going on. So yes, we intended that to be an experience where we could expose everyone to the. That would have been like baby steps at that point, like giving you baby food at that point. Where now we skipped the middle part and just took you to the I amness, which is the goal for the gate when you get into the gateway. my goal is to tell you to do the vision board at that point. Think and focus on something that is that main energy that you want to now vibrate with. And that's the whole thing. When we start being it, I am, when we are it.
That's right.
We're in that where Esther Hicks said, Abraham said 17 seconds or more, engulfing or embodying or tending into that energy allows you to resonate with it more and become that is I am. Yes. So, but we were in the gateway, so there's no need to go back. So, but the fact is, we do have another gateway coming up at the end of the month, and at the end of the hour, we will get more details on that. But that's the whole purpose. We want to be able to fuzzy the edges, like when you expand yourself, you kind of your energy is floating into each other, bumping into each other. Your aura gets bigger and bigger, like you let down your walls, you let down your guards. Your guards are off duty. You are,
That's right. They'll make it. You said Eddie.
Yeah, chill out for a little bit. I'm gonna do my thing and enjoy myself. My being the is, the all, the it, the shitting. That was the vibe. That was a vibe.
Yeah, that was cool. My favorite part was the drumming, but we didn't do enough of
No. And we'll have more drummers this time around. And we're having a performance.
When?
It's the 31st, it's a Thursday, it's the next blue moon, it's the second moon of August, which is the blue moon. The 31st here at the temple. Entry is free, and I'm telling you all the details, which I'm not sure what time is it, are we approaching?
Well, we just flow. That's what we have. Close enough.
Okay.
This is all inclusive. I might be able to the whole time. So
Yeah, so I've been chomping at the bit and I want to hold on to my tidbits so that I can present it in, a way that's cohesive. But yeah, we celebrate the full moons, because the lunar female energy is very fertile. So every full moon for the last 8 years, 10 years really, but 8 years more consistently. Pandemic took a little bit of a slow down period, but every year, as long as it's not extremely cold, I usually have some sort of fireside event. Sometimes it's huge, and we fill up a whole field of folks, and sometimes it's quaint. But for the most part, that's a very fertile time. I have gotten downloads recently that kind of go along with that. This morning, I think one of my downloads was the question that the gateway answers. The gateway meditation answers the question, how do I get to the gateway? So the question just came to me this morning. It was not clear to me why I was doing the gateway meditation. Again, this was downloaded doing a sun gazing meditation. The step by step, piece by piece, like the GPS tells you, turn here, turn left, turn right. This is how the Spirit has been feeding me each of the steps to contain and complete this technique, which is still being tweaked. Because as I learn more about what each bit and piece of it does, then it's, we're able to include the science of it, which science is one of my favorite subjects. Math was as well. So, I'm learning how to try to flip the script on the elementary level connections and try to bring it up to my adult mastery, psychological, sociological, physiological, cosmological, astrological, all the logicals to make sense. And sense it with my senses. With the hair follicles, with the knowings, with the hearings, with the speakings, with the smellings, with all of the these electronic devices are imitations of things that this physical body can do. So if I'm comparing myself to each of the, in order to be a conductor, you know, like a train is conducted by a conductor, but then copper is a conductor. So, you know, I wear this electronic conducting um, healing tool to assist me in my senses, my sensitivities, my being able to pick up on things, being able to put things out there, being able to hold and harness certain things. Um, the conducting thought just also led me to that's what I also consider what the gateway is. I am like the conductor of your ride, of your journey, of your writing that episode with me. So in that case, Spirit told me, or the rays of Ra, the Amun Ranas, told me, divine to me, that I need to speak more during that time. And so I apologize for being so boisterous this morning. It's coming to me and it's helping me, and I hope it has something to help you. Let me be quiet because that was selfish.
Well,
But that's self-love to a degree.
well, again, as we get a shout out to Temple of Mother Earth. This is that portal, that 5D portal that operates in the seven magnetic principles. So the law of correspondence is at play because we come through this portal as individuals. We recognize a certain level of self in others. Usually whenever someone shares, we all benefit because we can see and feel the correlation, the correspondence that's there. As one who is speaking is operating in the law of vibration. We experience the law of correspondence because it's all mechanism. So,
Thank you for letting me share.
indeed, again.
Okay. Well, I spoke about the eating the manna and being like food for thought and it being like energetic, like manna, your morning dew, you know, your DO, your morning dew, you actually do what you're about to do when you get out of bed, relating back to the, you know, somewhat how these things relate. Let's just say morning dew, but I'm thinking in biblical, you know, in some spiritual ways of trying to connect it to the energies that I just wrote this down. It says, get fed data that fills your voids. Self-correct the vision for the void age, joy age, the void or vortex age. Which leads me to the thought about the temple. And this temple being temporal or being in time and being, it has an expiration as far as the physical period of the spirit inhabiting this vessel. And maybe, you know, for some people it's longer and longer. The Bible is 900 and some years. You know, and I don't know how they counted years back then. It might have been months. Who knows how they would, what their yardstick was for the suns that revolve. The days might have been shorter. You know, the sun up and sun down or whatever. But I was just sharing that I thought the morning dew, the morning sun gazing in the morning, all that seems to relate in my thoughts too, in the Bible when it says, money and whatever I have not, but this is what I have. This, you know, I give of myself, and myself is also that vital energy, that vital real estate, that vital incorporating, harmonizing my chords accord according to, the vocal cord in accordance harmony.
Well needed. I needed that.
That's it. Yeah. We could breathe. So a few breaths to he shares a lot. Integrate on the fly as much as possible. So just simply breathe and over that. Maybe forward and off other insights. Things that may come up as a result of our letting free.
I'd like to say I thank you guys for allowing me to remember myself in the presence of you guys. That's kind of a nakedness. And to be able to also know that I might be sharing this with another audience that may at some point find any of this somewhat of valid or value or whatever. I feel lighter. I feel lifted. I feel like I've just let some heaviness off of me. Like I was holding that a little bit and I might have needed to heal myself by allowing it to head out and to take it off my head.
Yeah. That really is. My person was reminded recently of the sharing more. Because if we come, as these uploads come, and then we are obedient to these uploads and integrate them, it's only natural to share our experiences, because they will benefit others, those who are at the place of benefiting. And as President Lord said, it releases us. Without that sharing with others, if we are social beings, it also tends to let become more stifling, like more stagnant energy. Because we have what we have, it's good stuff. The same thing that may be said about traumatic experiences. Though most of them happen as we are at a young age, some of them happen as in our adult and later on years. But generally, we have an experience that's emotionally traumatic to us. The emotion is there, the shock is there, but it's not a pleasant. There, yes, it's a different type of trauma. We don't call it trauma, but that's from the same ground. And we hold on to those experiences that was, as a child, this is done. Again, it's stifling us because it's not flowing, ebb and flow between that strong. Yet, when we talk about those traumas and we're able to share, hey, this happened, when I was this age, and did this, we tend to be more lighter. And so again, the theory is the same as true with those things that we have these emotional build up about the uploads, and then we see how it's manifesting in our life. Shit, we doing this now? Oh, we're this level now? Oh, we here. The same with the traumas, to be able to share those experiences, is lightening us so that we make room to have more of those to come to more. So
She said, fill those voids.
yeah.
Someone said that. She said,
Yeah, I read from the download this morning about an hour and a half ago.
that's how we feel when we release and then allow them.
Yeah. So again, we give thanks again to the space of Temple of Mother Earth for holding the space for us to come do just that. Whether it be on Sunday AM or whether it be on Moon Day evening or any other days that will be more in rotation on a consistent basis upcoming. At least those 2 days right now is a day to come and fellowship, network, connect, share, release, go and just embrace and the vibe of the 5D vibration as we bring heaven to earth, or open up to heaven being on earth. As we speak. Wednesday is Community Day. And didn't announce it because my person doesn't come on Wednesdays, and some have heard that it may not be every Wednesday, so it's light, not sure, but
We have some hot bucks coming up and some community day events that are starting to line up on Wednesdays. And anyway, they're on the website, they're on the Eventbrite, and just look up Temple of Mother Earth or Temple Mother Earth, and they'll come up on Eventbrite. Also, the bullhorn event information is there as well.
say that, something to make up, say that. And also a shout out commercial if you move up to the I Am It Nation. For those online, first came on, there was the newsletter was up. There was a picture up. We want to be doing too much sharing, but we want to go live and have some of the training. So that was the I Am It newsletter called the It, the Indigenous Time, because it is the It. And as President Love spoke earlier, that we are it. Hence the I Am It Nation. Indigenous Aboriginal Man in Trust. I'm gonna say that one more time. So they did a buffering. I Admit is an acronym for Indigenous Aboriginal Man in Trust. It is a movement that we have been a part of officially since 2014. 2014. Personally, since 19 but as a collective, I admit as for it being put out to the public since 2014. And it is a movement that is allowing those who feel as though they are it, a station of suicide, to get their mind from, if you resonate with the manifestation of personification of source energy, then you are it. Again, thanks for telling other earths as these, and to utilize the space in a partnership way to assist all others who feel as though they are it. Come to a space and to remember that you are it. That's it. So far, so any just closing remarks, any other announcements?
Okay. One more announcement, to just be more specific about the full moon gateway event that we're doing this month, because we did it last month at Temple Mother Earth in July. Previously, we had done it at other locations, but we're trying to do it outside since the pandemic. We were indoors for quite a few months, and so now we are bringing in entertainment. We're bringing in music that vibes with the same vibe that we're on. The artist that we're bringing in this month is Amadei the Apostle. Amadei the Apostle is one of my first clients or customers or people who had learned the vision board as I began to teach vision board to adults. We had like an annual appointment to do them, and now look at him and where he is. It's just a beautiful growth and procession for me to be able to visually see some of those things becoming manifest. But in any case, he's got a new release that's called Breath of Life. And it is actually a beautiful song. The energy of his wife, who has passed since, who had an ailment, a physical ailment that took her into the realm of beyond, and she is no longer in a corporeal position, but she inspired this song, and her voice is in the song. And it's as though her breath brings him life by him hearing this song. I don't know if he's ever heard me break that down to him like that before, but it is a beautiful song. It's called The Breath of Life, and Amadei the Apostle will be our performing artist, special guest. We will do the gateway meditation. Master Chef and myself, Precious Mother Love, we will be doing snippets of what we have to offer as far as some of our esoteric, metaphysical, quantum physical sharings. This time around, I will be doing my 5 words of wellness, just a visual, just a little snip of it, but I have some discoveries that I'm adding, some healing hacks. I am the have some new healing hack techniques that were downloaded, and one of them involves laughter. So there'll be a segment of laughter for the purpose of healing and using that for healing. And again, as I am the conductor of these events, and I have these events annually and monthly for years, so I use various things, music, I use, various arts and talents to show the art of life, the arts of practicing creation in more harmonious and ways to be in accordance with, pleasant lifestyle, luxurious, lavish as well. Because one of my mentors worked on work, Billy Carson. I have had to break that glass ceiling for myself. It does take for you to get down to the place of having nothing, to value the something and to value what brings that something, that energy that helps you to have that manifestation when you need it. But to say, God don't come when you call him, but he comes right on time. Well, that's you calling that God energy, that God source, that whatever that vibration, that frequency, in order for it to manifest and materialize. You calling it into, effect. I'm telling myself this. If I'm sounding emphatic in any way, it's because I need to hear this. I'm telling myself I am so, over these years of doing all these vision boards and doing all these bucket lists, and I talked to a sister that was here on Community Day last week. She had just taken her bar. She was here for her first time to visit to the temple, and she was about to go on a 2-week sabbatical to do a finding herself, experience. Something out in the woods, something with fire and smoke and things. So, and she was one I did when I was 15. She said she had two. And she was just turning 29, and she was 28. And she said, and she finished it. And I told her I finished mine by the age of 30. She's like, so now what? I said, you have to keep making those lists, and just don't put a timeline on them. Put them into rotation on your musical selections of what harmonizes with you and begins to resonate and resound, resonate, with you. When you walk in that kind of knowledge, or begin to recognize that all these thoughts are things and those energies are caplets that you're releasing, you firing out blanks if you're not following up. But anyway, yes, I'm telling myself that. I swear to God, it's having to resonate inside of me. I'm having to replay inside my head what I just said to recognize, girl, you preaching to your choir. Because there's so many of you in there, how many cells, how many trillions of, and these are all my, and I give them marching orders sometimes. Thank you for letting me share it. Let me hush up. But yes, that is my world. I did vision boards since a young age, and I'm sharing that by, expressing to others how valuable putting these things, writing the vision and making it plain can do for you.
Jay, earlier your person was laugh. My person laughed, had a good hearty laugh, because it just instantly went back to last Monday. So when I was started, we started laughing, and then DeAndre was like, laughter yoga, and laughter walk. So we had this beautiful laughing experience. Started off spontaneous. Then somebody said what it was. Then we just, it was. Woo.
Speaking of laughter, one of our previous participants, Lumumba Beach, they're having an event August the 26th. It is a laughter. They have a comedian, but as you know, we are a plant medicine potential participants based on the healing practices that we have that goes with it. But that environment is going to be very healing through laughter. Laughter is the best medicine. Vibing with that funny bone, tickling your fancy. It's very therapeutic, it's very energizing and balancing. You know, it's almost like the white balance that you get on your camera. You're spazzing out with sometimes people get to the point of pain. They laughing so hard, you know.
Yes. That's amazing.
It's tears of joy.
All right. For those who know like that address again, it is 2415 32nd Street Southeast. You know, just go to Temple Mother Earth. Google Temple Mother Earth, Washington, D.C. The information will come up there. They mention there's a potluck coming up, community day. So there's a lot of activities goes on. Sometimes it's kind of spontaneous. So it's good. The list, the telegram list, which is sign up the community. You will get first-hand updates as they come. So that's that. As we now prepare for our integration time, that we have been communing all day. Optional integration for integrate all of those things that were shared, the information that was shared out loud, and the uploads that was either from us or wasn't shared out loud. So we just simply take this time to integrate all of the information, build upon it, stand up under, grow, embody it, become it, just simply that way. For this, we simply say, right on, amen, and ashe. Again, we give thanks for this moment of time of taking faith. Because anyone experience one. Giving thanks to all things about how you feel the experience. Source energy, another Father God. Talk through their reach of the deep tribe. Ascended masters, angels, archangels, deities, benevolent ancestors, and spirit guides. Until we call upon you again in such a way to bid you adieu. Say good day. Right on, amen, and ashe. Oh,